as you say, Draven, still a very strong pick and won't be given over into the hands of Assum. So maybe we actually see the Aphelios suddenly rise up priority, especially actually with Renata left open. I imagine that Aphelios needs to be taken away here by WE.
Yeah, the Renata taken means that you pretty much just have to respect it, right? You have to take away one of the pairings with the Kalista band. The natural pairing is that Aphelios, so you can expect Xing to lock that one in. And it's one of Xing's best picks anyway. Like, this works perfectly for WE. They're more than happy to go with the Aphelios here. And now potentially towards the jungle, you could go for your... Oh, that would be interesting. That would certainly be a pick. The Poppy!
Do it!
Will we actually see the Poppy? It's been ignored this entire series. I didn't realize the team knew that Poppy existed.
Yeah, I feel like they've accidentally stumbled... No. Okay, they stumbled... No. All right, well, look, coming back in, I think Zeri comes in here with the pairing with Renata, and Assum will see if he can try and take over on that. Haichao going to go back towards the Ahri, now knowing that Shanks doesn't have doesn't have the option to go towards the Silas, but I still think Shanks could go towards something like the Swain if he wants to here. Swain also does very well into the Ahri and can help keep a lot of control over that mid lane.
Yeah, so the Ahri locked in. We'll see what's going to go down on the bottom side, because, you know, the two picks that you usually see with Renata are gone. It's still an enchanter, can still work with these AD carries that want to get a big attack speed steroid, so things like the Jinx can certainly work, and we'll be locked in here for Assum. So a bit more of a passive bottom lane than some of the other Renata lanes that you like to see, but with the Nautilus locked in here, just feel like Xing could find himself with an advantage early on.
Yeah, we've seen Jinx kind of come out as the, again, like spring counter pick towards the Aphelios, because you've got the range. You tend to be able to dictate the pace of the lane, especially with the range support in the Renata. But I personally think that Zeri is just a stronger pick, but it feels like LGD aren't really sure how to enable Assum on something like a Zeri, whereas Assum on something like a Jinx, he's much more kind of self-reliant in a way, where it's like, as long as he has bodies in front of him, 9 times out of 10 he's able to auto-attack something. So at least LGD trying to give Assum a little bit more wiggle room here and give him a little bit of an opportunity to have some agency. But on WE's side, the Nautilus is going to make that a bit more difficult.
Yeah, look at this Lissandra ban as well, taken away from Shanks, another one of his comfort picks. So a lot of roaming taken off the board, right, with the Lissandra and the Talia. The comfort of the Silas removed as well. Feels like Quay getting the best of this one so far with that Ahri locked in. We'll see what Shanks can still lean towards, or whether, I mean, we could say another mid lane ban from LGD.
Yeah, I think the Swain ban would be fantastic here. Maybe you end up then, I was going to say, with the Azir. So it looks like LGD kind of thinking, hey, look, if Shanks ends up going towards the Swain, it means you're in a very short range composition for WE, potentially able to abuse that, especially with the Renata and the Jinx. So it looks like that has been the call here from LGD, and you can see the Swain going to be locked in here for WE. So now the response is, okay, LGD, do you go towards more disengage? Like, do you take something like the God, why am I blanking this? Sejuani here in that top side for Fearness, and just play something like a Trundle here and provide the ability to play at range? Or do you try and go in and go, nah, we're just going to go for all-out brawls in the team fight? But I do like kind of opting in towards the Trundle here. I think that does provide some help in the disengage and buying space for this Jinx.
Yeah, it's great in the 1v1 against the Viego too, but crucially, kind of makes these tankier top laners a bit more difficult to pick. Nobody likes to play a tank into Trundle. He saps away all of your stats. So things like the Ornn that we've been seeing, things like the Sejuani as well that you mentioned.
Oh, I love this.
A little bit less ideal. We talked about the Gangplank. It was banned earlier on in the series. Biubiu certainly a pick that he's very comfortable on.
But it's following your exact train of thought, Munchables, right? Hey, you don't want to play a tank on the top side. Cool, well, let's play something that can still provide that CC with Cannon Barrage, but doesn't necessarily give all those tanky stats to Koi. So having the Gangplank come through, you pop that down on Renata, on Jinx, makes it incredibly difficult for LGD to try and have that kite back, because they're going to have their main carries, or at least the main duo in that bot side, slowed down. So WE now providing openings for Kedaya and Shanks to try and get in. So great pivot here from WE to find that Gangplank on this last pick.
Yeah, really good stuff here from WE. Feels like a composition that can certainly work out when it comes to those team fights, and we'll see if LGD have what it takes to pressure them before that point. I feel like both teams, a reasonable amount of scaling as well. Like when we look at that top side, obviously the Gangplank going to scale exceptionally. You've got the Aphelios down there as well. But on the side of LGD as well, you know, Jinx Renata, not exactly the most aggressive bottom lane you've ever seen in your life. So I'm curious whether we still get a lot of priority towards these Drakes, right? We've seen Drakes stacking up real quick in both games so far this series, but with a more passive bottom lane like this, feels harder to achieve that.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that the scaling team fight for both sides is heavily reliant on dealing with Renata. And when you're looking at the Renata, if she gets a really good ultimate off, fantastic. Like, you have Gangplank, auto attacks are super hard. Like, they hit like a truck. Same when you look at this Aphelios, even the Viego as well. But the thing is, with WE, they have a lot of ways to avoid that. You've got the Gangplank that can use as remove scurvy, the oranges. You've got more than likely a cleanse being run on Xing as well. So you've actually got a lot of ways to try and manage the ultimate that's coming through from JinJiao. And if WE can play around that, I think they're in a good spot. But if LGD are able to try and utilize the fact that you've got like good pillars and stuff, start to try and find ways for like Haichao to burn cleanses or remove scurvy before the fights really kick off, well then it feels like that's where the LGD have got the edge. Both sides not really going to be trying too much, it feels like, in the early stages though, because as you say, scaling pretty much across the board.
Yeah, it's going to be a ward dropped by either side up in the top lane, but nobody going for any early cheese. No deep vision on either side either. So, like, what we've seen, well, as I say that, we'll drop down onto the Raptors from Haichao. This has been what we've seen throughout the series, is early wards placed down to make it difficult for either jungler to just clear without information, whereas View will be spotted by the ward on those chickens, and he likely will start with the chickens too.
Yeah, and you have a fairly decent idea of how View's going to clear off that as well. Like, Raptors red into his bot side, maybe looking for a potential back gank in the bottom end, but we'll certainly be trying to get that Scuttle Crab on the bot side. And I think it's going to be a struggle a little bit for View, honestly, because Assum and JinJiao with the double range should have control over that bottom half of the map. So I'm interested to see what Koi does. You can actually see Koi going to try and instantly go in onto this bottom side, knowing the path from View, and steal away some of these camps.
Yeah, takes his opportunity. He might end up just splitting the map, though, honestly, as he moves in. Like, View has had some interesting... I mean, there's been some interesting pathing from both junglers across the course of this series, but View not interested in trying to go vertical here. Instead, wants to go straight towards his blue buff. He's going to be ever so slightly too late, just a microsecond too late there. Quay manages to get the blue. He's trying to escape with his life, but actually turns around for the chop. Good little flash from Quay. A flash from View as well. But the more is there. No! Quay gets the kill. He survives. Ignited, though, as Kedaya answers that one. JinJiao now could be in trouble, but Shanks sparring with Haichao. That's the early aggression that we ordered.
Yeah, I thought Koi was going to try and make it over to the Gromp, smite it and get his health back, but wasn't quite able to do so. And JinJiao being level 1 means no bailout is going to be available for the jungler, but great job from Koi there to get the kill before he drops.
Yeah, really good stuff from Koi. The flash was clutch to be able to manage to dodge things out and get the one kill onto View. So both junglers die, both get an assist, both have 2 camps taken so far.
And this again is just really smart pathing from Koi. We talked about how View was going to go Raptors red into bot side, and Koi kind of raises. I think it's a bit unfortunate here that like he doesn't quite get as much damage off as he was hoping in the early stages, but with the red buff helping him out, having JinJiao come up here, and the early chomp stealing away that AD from... oh, hang on.
We're still going. There's more fighting at the bottom side. View going to be knocked up by the pillar. 1 or 2 more autos would do the trick. Assum flashes to get the reset. And Kedaya next on the chopping block here. A couple more hits. And it will be another double for Assum. What a way to start it for LGD.
WE, this was the one. This was the one. You could have taken it, but LGD are saying, hell no. You're not getting up to 1 and 8 with us. You're going to stick down there, as LGD now with 1,000 gold lead, 2 kills onto Assum, a massive advantage for LGD.
Huge here for LGD, and crucially, we're talking about WE trying to get their first win. Well, for the side of LGD, they also don't want to be the only team that lost to WE, right? It goes both ways this street, so feels like LGD fighting hard here in game number 3. They know how much this means.
Haichao though under a bit of pressure.
Shanks is really doing some work in this lane phase. Haichao going to be forced back to base, and in comes Kedaya just to clear this wave alongside Shanks, make sure that gets under the tower.
Yeah, so Haichao will just stick around to get this one done with, pick up some of this creep on the backside, so he should be okay, won't actually fall too far behind. Has the teleport to get back into lane as well, whereas Shanks, because we're only at the 4-minute mark, well, 5-minute mark, doesn't actually have the TP to get back into lane. So nice that Shanks will actually be the first one on the reset here, because I imagine Haichao TP's back into mid lane, and maybe with where the wave state is on bot side, Haichao could look for a quick roam onto the bot lane if he desired to, but we haven't seen a huge presence here from LGD and trying to actually give Assum resources in the early stages, apart from in this game so far.
Yeah, feels like to be honest, I'm not sure if that was necessarily LGD trying to give us some resources. It felt like just reactionary play, right? It felt like there was just a scrap at the bottom side, and Assum happened to be the one to grab the kills here. Both junglers returning to the bottom side fresh off of their deaths, right? We saw the fight at the blue buff and then immediately back down to that bottom side once again. Feels like Dragon might be the cause for concern for both teams as Quay moves down here. Oh, Xing and Kedaya, you're in trouble. JinJiao forces the flash out from Xing.
Nicely done. Kuyo's able to get a lot of these wards cleared out. Haichao will spot out that there's another ward in that pixel brush as well. So LGD getting a lot of control on this bot side. Maybe looking for the dragon, but honestly, I'm a little bit concerned for them with the way things are going, because Biubiu just hit 6. You've got Shanks with pushing mid. I think starting dragon could be a mistake here for LGD. And it looks like Koi may agree with me.
Yeah, not going to start it, at least for the time being. Just going to be clearing vision for now. There's a ward pretending to be a scuttle crab there for vision on the side of WE. But a singular sweeper would clear that one out. But all of the sweepers on cooldown right now. Oh, JinJiao is currently active, so it will be vision cleared. LGD starting this one off despite your best advice, Dagda.
Yeah, it doesn't look like WE are really positioning greatly, though, to try and counteract this. Shanks will find Haichao.
Moves in. The flame choppers are huge. The pillar going to be there as well. Kedaya pull back into the fray, but Haichao just gets rinsed by everybody. The dragon taken in the end by LGD, but look at the damage coming out from WE. It's a dragon for a fight, and look at the pull from the never move. Shanks, not a one trick, not just a Silas player. This time he's smurfing on the Swain.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. If you try and commit to this for LGD, you're not really having the presence on bot or mid to force members from WE to stay away. And Biubiu basically playing the half man in that fight with the cannon barrage, laying it down and completely on top of LGD. WE now, they don't get the dragon, but they get some much needed kills back in their favor. Even the place as well going across the Xing.
Yeah, feels fantastic for WE. And Dagda, we're getting what we wanted, a close early game. LGD grabbed the Drake with WE with a beautiful fight.
Yeah, I actually think that Koi's pillar there saved Kedaya. Kedaya was putting himself in a very precarious spot, but as you can see there, right, cannon barrage coming through. Placement could have been slightly better, but it got what it needed done. And just so unfortunate for View that he couldn't quite get the hit on the charm, or that could have been another member of LGD going down. But WE got to be pretty happy with the way that skirmish went regardless.
Honestly, I saw the double never move at the end there. I thought that was curtains for LGD. I thought that might be 2 more kills. And had they both gone down as well, that could have been a disastrous place to move on from. But still, WE, even without those 2 kills, they've got 1,000 gold lead for themselves. Lost that Drake. LGD, though, wanting to continue with those neutral objectives as they start this Herald off. And I don't think there'll be any contestation as View moving down to the bottom side currently. Does have a small CS lead over Quay. And he does have a bottom lane that is just taking place while the Herald is taken.
Yeah, it's kind of know your strengths here for WE. It's like, hey, look, bot lane, we definitely could have fought, but Biubiu wants time to scale. You've got a Mega Gnar to deal with. Let's just not play for it. But Shanks now might be caught. Still has flash.
Yeah, the charm going to go wide, though.
The bait!
That means he can walk on over. Kedaya hits those. I'm not entirely sure how that hook hit, but it did. Shanks surviving and playing like a bit of a Chad in the mid lane, honestly. Knows there are 3 people there and starts stepping up. Quay now in trouble. Another anchor goes out, forces a flash from Quay. Here we go, though. The flank comes out from Haichao. Big damage out from the Orb of Deception. Not enough, though, as View takes the big chicken. And that's all we're fighting over. Just the big chicken.
Yeah, even the AD carries looking to get involved as Xing roamed up as well, but LGD decide to call it off with the flash on JinJiao and Koi burned. WE got to be pretty happy with the way that one turned out. We'll have to see if they can try and continue to push those advantages, though, in this bottom half of the map. It means that you want to flashes up for the dragon that's in 2 minutes' time on either the Trundle or on the Renata, which actually could be pretty big when it comes towards that next skirmish.
Biubiu wanting a chance onto Fearness here. Will get his barrels off as well. Fearness about to say Mega Gnar, but don't really have an opportunity to go in. And this is one of those matchups where Gangplank, if piloted well, has a very nice time against the Gnar, but Quay wants to turn this one around. Biubiu pulled into the fray. Quay goes in, counter barrage down. Biubiu in a 2v1 here, but still fairly healthy for the time being. Slowly but surely getting chased down, though. There's only so long you can survive 2v1, and Fearness should be gifted the kill. No? Okay. Quay gonna be able to grab himself a kill at the top side.
And the resets had fully come through across the map for WE, so no sort of cross map is going to be there in response. Shanks moving up to collect this wave in the top side as View will catch that wave in mid in response, but just a nice timing there for LGD to get that kill.
Shanks a little unsure of where he wanted to go, how he wanted to approach that one. Remember, Herald in pocket for Quay, but opting not to use it for the time being. That fist plate extremely low. Reset just gets on through thanks to the empowered recall from that Herald. But Shanks protects the plates at least.
And that's really what Shanks needed to do. You could even see View happy, as you said, to take that wave in mid. So overall, WE just trying to hunker down and make sure that they're not giving any more resource across the LGD. 45 seconds though until this dragon. Wave in a good spot on bot side. Kedaya here to help Shanks control this wave in mid. So we'll have to see again if the WE can try and help out and win out the skirmish, but no help from Biubiu with no cannon barrage available.
Bit of a scrap here. Xing currently in the bottom lane though. This is not a fight WE want without their AD carry. In fact, both AD carries can be down there, so maybe they do want the fight as Shanks just walks on it. Kedaya finds a hook onto JinJiao as well. Shanks is so difficult to deal with on the Swain. He's so hard to kill. He has so much sustain to work with. Haichao just doesn't have damage to return.
And that's exactly what we said. Focusing JinJiao, focusing Kui, because they don't have their flashes available from that plane, the bottom side, and we see it perfectly there. WE, though, are relatively low, so still need to be a bit careful. Still don't have control over bot side with Xing.
So Haichao has Spirit Rush available, so WE do need to be a little concerned about that one. Potential play for LGD as they drop the Herald down, but immediately punished on that one. Oh, but Deception is huge. Kedaya has a stopwatch, though, and there goes a kill for WE. There's a pillar as well as Haichao tries to turn things around here. Smite is not going to come through in time here. Wasn't available from View, as the Herald will get a couple of charges, but I believe it was only Quay that got the gold.
Yeah, it will be only Quay that got the gold. Haichao wasn't in a position to auto-attack that, so several kills going to WE, but the Dragon is still up and available. Looks like WE should be able to get back out onto the map first. Cannon Barrage might be up for round number 2 if LGD try to fight, but I think at this stage, LGD just kind of cut your losses. As you can see, like, they just cannot fight against WE right now.
They definitely cannot. Xing doing his best to hold that reputation from his team as he clears the wave underneath the tower. Gets a cheeky little Q onto JinJiao as well. But View moving down. His team has to back away. Drake on the map here. View actually using the smite. That's not a 15-second cooldown either. That's the long cooldown. So could be a little dicey with the Drake coming up.
Yeah, I think the value that you get from that scuttle is massive if you're actually looking for the fight, though. So I think View basically saying, hey, look, we're not going to try and 50-50 this. We want to fight you, and that scuttle is going to be incredibly valuable if that does come to it. Fearness was considering roaming down, though, but with the wave being pushed in by Biubiu, he's now forced to go back topside. So that's why we're seeing WE take this a little bit slower. Even Biubiu going to take away the red buff here in case LGD decide to try and cross-map for the Dragon in just a moment.
We'll have to see what LGD's game plan is here. It does feel like they are slowly but surely falling behind. It's a much closer run than either of the previous games, though. As Fearness looks for the second plate, won't quite find it. A rocket comes across here to try and steal the Drake. Won't happen. Kedaya blocks it. Good smite from View, and that'll be a Drake apiece now. So fairly even in gold, a minor advantage for WE. Actually, it's reasonable advantage, honestly, 2,000, but also a Drake apiece. Feels much more even than previous games.
And a huge amount of that gold is on Shanks. You can already see him with the Imperial Mandate picked up, working very quickly toward that Riley's Crystal Scepter. And this is one of the big things about this build with Swain, is that it's such a cheap build. So when you get these early kills and you are able to hold onto your stopwatch early, you don't need to like detour in towards an early Zhonya's. It's such a good spot where you're constantly proccing that Imperial Mandate every 4 seconds, the cooldown on that. thanks to the Rylade's Crystal Scepter. And when you've got people like Xing, who are going to be hitting on towards multiple people, Viego, who can proc that relatively well, Biubiu as well, it then becomes a massive issue for LGD. And even just trying to take down Shanks is going to be a problem as well.
Cannon Barrage used in the bottom side to try and clear this wave up, but that's the thing about cannon waves. Cannons not very good against cannons, if that makes any sense at all. Haichao taking a Moonlight Vigil to the face here. 300 HP remaining, but he will survive. And in the meantime, Xing gets to move in and start to get some hits onto the tower. Fearness getting chased down by Biubiu, the wallop and the Gnar to keep himself safe. But Shanks will grab the enemy blue buff. Now moving over towards this mid lane, where you see Xing and Kedaya already setting the play up onto the tier 1.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the Riptide here as well. Maybe even looking for the tier 2, but with LGD in retreat and actually coming back out onto the map, you won't be able to get more than that. But if WE can actually push in this wave in mid, it makes it a lot easier then for them to start to play off over into side lanes. But it's going to be difficult for them to actually try and get control over mid lane, just because Assum should have push in the mid lane over Xing and can actually start to threaten on towards this mid tower. So we'll have to see how WE can try and use the fact that they have that mid turret, or if they can just at least even give pressure towards Biubiu in the bottom side to try and threaten that low health bot turret.
Shanks trying to escape from Quay up towards the top side here. Does still have his tower remaining, but Fearness in Mega Gnar just needs to be a little cautious. Fearness actually pulled underneath the tower as he threw a boulder, so that's a lot of damage onto him. Shanks might have to use the ulti, immediately drops that one, stunned against the wall by the Gnar, but he's difficult to kill and still has stopwatch, as you say. A lot invested there from LGD for not a lot to gain.
Yeah, I mean, again, though, they're kind of doing this as WE are going for resets, so WE not really in a position to punish this. Biubiu should be able to push onto bot side. Haichao, though, actually very worried about where WE are on the map, so actually going to end up seeding this bot side turret, which will be big win for WE.
Oh, Quay, I thought Quay was in trouble there, but he's got support from JinJiao. Fearness pushing up on the top side as well. There's a lot of contention over the top side, but Biubiu in the meantime is just taking the bot tier 1 with basically no defense. LGD will trade it for a tier 1 at the top side. You see Xing just shoving out that mid lane as well. But Biubiu is onto a tier 2 right now. Biubiu is just hammering home.
I mean, this is great if Biubiu can take it. The reset is only coming through on towards JinJiao, so we will have Haichao making his way down, but look at where Xing is. They might try and fight this.
Oh, good dodge on the charm here. Haichao using the Spirit Rush as well, only to get a pistol shot to the face. Not ideal for Haichao here. And it will be like 3/4 of the tower done. And great to see Biubiu using his passive to reset the true damage onto the tower there, blowing up the barrels to get the flaming sword once more.
And again, you're getting Shanks pushing into that top side as well, so he's going to be in a good spot, except for the TP from Fearness. He really wants to make this play happen.
Certainly does. Shanks using the ghost here, turns into that demonic ascension, but it's not going to be enough. A nice pickup there for Haichao, a much needed pickup. Cost him his TP and his flash, and it cost Fearness TP as well, but they got the pick.
With a minute until Dragon, so Shanks will still be up in time for that Dragon. Should be able to get there. Now you've got no TP on Haichao, no flash on Haichao. Spirit Rush will be back up, which is something, but WE are going to use all that commitment to the top side to establish that vision control they wanted for Dragon. So weird timing on this one. I don't know if they were worried about losing the tower. Like, I have no problem TP and Fearness here, but the double TP is a bit of an overcommit here from LGD.
Yeah, they do get a pick onto Shanks, but like I say, it's not the... I mean, I'm surprised at the flash most of the time, right? Haichao flashing in to make that play. I feel like there was almost a guaranteed play at that stage, but Quay moving up to the top side here. Biubiu in a 1v1 with Fearness, but he's on the wrong side of this 1v1. Has flash available. Cannon Barrage going to be used as he gets under the tower, but walloped against the wall here. And a kill taken by JinJiao in the end. A tier 2 under threat in the top side as WE will have to trade for the Drake.
I mean, the tier 2 will go down, as you say, and at least you're getting some push on bot side here for Shanks, but again, just kind of a nice play from LGD. And as they were saying, like, it's only the second Dragon coming through for WE, and I thought that LGD were like, oh, well, we're going to make this pick and then try and fight, but if they're not even going to try and fight for that second Dragon, cool, then happy to go and start creating pressure on elsewhere on the map. Just the only issue that I see is that Biubiu will kind of be able to just continue to freeze this wave in front of the tower. The Dragon stacking is going to become a bit of an issue now for WE as well, especially if these are mountain dragons that WE are starting to pick up for someone like Assum, who now will have to stop off before the Infinity Edge for the Lord Dominic's Regard. So it can cause issues, but at least they're getting some gold in towards people like this now.
See the reason that Biubiu ended up on the wrong side of the play there, trying to be aggressive onto Fearness, but Fearness knew he had reinforcements coming, so could match that aggression up in the top side. Shanks just trying to clear waves, does have the Rylai's, has that stopwatch still available, and you can see the armor coming on through, likely a Zhonya's as a third item here. But Dagda, you know, I came into game number 3 and I said, please, give me an even early game. Give me some good team fights in the mid game. Well, gold is almost dead even. It's 300, 400 gold between the two teams. It's 2 Drakes against 1, and Baron is now on the map. I feel like we might get the banger team fights that I feel like we deserve off this series.
Well, not if Shanks gets picked. He's forced to flash away there. And LGD, they hear you, but they want to make sure that they're the ones that are coming out ahead of this. But as you say, barely any gold in the middle of this. Dragon's incredibly close. It is going to come down to a lot about how both these teams start to play the map. And at least for the moment, Biubiu, with Lord Dominic's Regard now completed, is going to be doing a good amount of work against Fearness. Going to be doing a hell of a lot of work against some of the squishier members that are on LGD as well. But it's just trying to figure out how you can keep these side lanes in order so you can create these numbers advantages, particularly at Dragons that are coming up in 3 minutes. And we've already seen from game 1, LGD seem to have the edge when it comes towards playing the map.
Yeah, they certainly do when it comes to that overall game plan. It's down to the 5v5 though, I think, for WE, right? If they can find 5v5 opportunities. Fearness really wants Xing here. Not going to commit. I thought he was going to keep chasing there, and you can see the whole of WE moving over on the minimap. That felt dangerous, but Fearness respects the authority of WE there. Knows that he can't just push into enemy territory by himself. Remember, that tier 2 in the bottom side, still extremely low, but the TPs now from both LGD solo laners back available.
This is what we're talking about, though. LGD trying to play the map better. So you get Kui covering Haichao with pushing top. Shanks now forced to move top. So Haichao now moving down for the pick. They're trying to make these plays work.
That's a good Everfrost, but Kedaya pulls himself out to safety, flashes over the pillar. And it will be LGD. Just using the Spirit Rush, not too much burnt here, honestly, considering you've got a flash out from the enemy support as well. A close one. A good attempt there from LGD. And like you say, good proactive map plays coming out.
Yeah, and I love that we're seeing this from LGD. Like, this is very much going to be the difference maker here, and WE need to be aware of that. But because you've got the spell book on Shanks, he will only have access to the teleport at very set intervals, and LGD looking for more.
Oh, what a pillar out on Xing. Gets the full knock up there as well, forcing the flash out. Nicely done by Quay there. You know, this is the kind of thing where when you see Trundle, sometimes he just looks like you know, a large minion. And then you see Trundles that can play Trundle well, and he just looks unstoppable in these kind of situations. He really is a pick champion.
Definitely. And the thing is, it's about, like, even in team fights, using that ultimate to pick off one member. And in this time, it looks like it's going to be Xing or Kedaya. The fact that both those flashes were burnt a minute before the dragon is up, although ultimate just to check the bar wasn't taken, but the fact you've got like the AD carry now vulnerable here is perfect for people like Haichao, for Koi, even Fearness, who will have his own flash up for this fight alongside the Mega Gnar. It feels like Xing has put a massive target on his back.
Yeah, definitely feels that way right now. But Xing does have the cleanse, and you know, heading towards that Infinity Edge as well. He needs to have a monster performance here. We came into today singing Xing's praises, saying he has been the shining light for WE in a lot of these series, and I feel like Shanks took that personally. He's been doing his best to show up here today, and we'll see which one is going to be the shining star for WE, or if LGD have something to say about it themselves. Drake coming up in 30 seconds here, Rob.
Again, LGD going to try and see if they can get a good flank opportunity here for Fearness. He is spotted on a lot of vision that has already been established by WE, so great at least set up here for WE on the objective, but they are here about 10 seconds too early, so opportunity for LGD to start pushing mid, start to create issues for WE. Xing is spotted. He's no flash.
That pillar is crucial, but they can't quite follow up onto it. Yes, they can. Flashing forward. Xing is down. Shanks now has to be the carry, but he just doesn't have enough damage here. Biubiu getting chased away as Fearness about to turn mega here, slams them into the wall and sets up for the follow-up. LGD, they needed a pick, they needed an opportunity, and Xing gives them it on a silver platter.
And it's just such a good series of events from LGD, the fortunate series of events. They look to make the push in topside, rotate mid, burn the flash on Kedaya, burn the flash on Xing, and Xing takes one step too far forward, and LGD lick their teeth and dive in on top of them. Fantastic stuff from LGD. Dragon number 2, Baron in their favor. This is how LGD have been able to bring back the game in firmly their favor.
And what a heartbreaker for WE as well. It was all looking so good, but Xing getting caught out.
I don't know why he's there. I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, great job from LGD to capitalize on that. JinJiao as well. Look at the placement on this hostile takeover. Almost every single person hit there. Honestly, might have been every single person hit. And just a really great ultimate. And then Fearness able to follow up perfectly. Didn't even have to burn the flash, which is going to be incredible, especially for the next few minutes where you are pushing in with this Baron buff. You have the range advantage for LGD. If you end up poking someone out incredibly low, Fearness can jump on them with a minute's notice.
God, look at Biubiu's damage from that fight. If there's one thing that is going well for WE, it's apparently this Gangplank in the team fights. The scoreline, not so pretty. That damage certainly was. Now the siege, though, in this mid lane. The tier 2 will definitely fall down. You can see Fearness pushing in the bottom side as well to look for a tower down there. And in the meantime, the rest of LGD can continue to hammer away. They've got a Jinx. Jinx so good in these siege situations. And realistically, there's no one on WE's side who can deal with these cannons. It's so difficult for Xing to step up. Nobody else can really facilitate.
And this is what we're talking about with the short-range composition. If you start to get into these scenarios, it becomes incredibly difficult for you to deal with it. The barrels are the only ones that can really do anything, and I mean, they're not doing enough against these cannoned up minions.
And now look at this, the base in shambles already. Inhibitor about to fall down with cannon still going. There's still a minute and a half on Baron, by the way. Shanks using that demonic ascension, the Moonlight Vigil on cooldown as well, so it doesn't even feel like WE could fight. Shanks actually having to flash away here. And in the meantime, you got Fearness pushing at the bottom side. The flank from the rest of LGD. WE have got to get out of dodge, but they want to fight this one. Cannon Barrage comes on down. Damage onto LGD members. Kedaya surviving for the time being. There's one for WE as Xing once more. You see him moving forwards here. View chasing on down. There's a good pillar onto JinJiao, but Shanks caught by the Everfrost. JinJiao flashes. LGD down with just a single casualty.
Yeah, at least they get the mid lane turret. They nearly were able to get that bot inhibitor turret, but it will stay standing for the moment, and that could actually be a bit of a saving grace for WE. The fact that they get to hold on to control over this bot side means they can at least contest the wave mid and still fight at this Dragon's Den 2.5 minutes time. And now it's kind of the reversal of the situation that we were in before, right? Fearness won't have flash. JinJiao won't have flash. You actually got some Crucianer summoner spells out here for WE as LGD greeted just a bit too far for this bot lane turret.
Massive damage then that hostile takeover. It does a bit to buy time. Honestly, Fearness probably dies there without the hostile takeover coming on through, but ultimately, WE still getting a pick and crucially saving that tower, like you say, saving themselves some control in the bottom side of the map. Zhonya's finished for Shanks though, and we've got to be getting close to Infinity Edge for Xing here. I feel like we've been close for a while. He's resetting as we speak, and that will be the Infinity Edge finish off. So 3 items per AD carry. Baron not going to be on the map for another 2.5 minutes, but the Drake will be up in 90 seconds time.
And that's what the main focus is going to be here. A third Drake for either squad going to be incredibly important. The only downside is for WE, haven't really got, again, the control that they need. TP is going to be up for both Fearness and Haichao, so they can actually play side lanes better if they want to, but it looks like at the moment, they're happy to just keep fishing for these picks, using that mid-jungle combo that we already kind of discussed to try and find someone who's isolated. Summoner spells up pretty much across the board. I'm not sure if Shanks obviously has his flash up underneath either the barrier or the ghost, but both going to be very good for him in these fights.
So it could be. It's going to be the Visions of Empire. Just proc it a couple of times. Shanks is going to be getting real tanky at this point. He's been doing a good job of hitting those Ws. And you can see 3,000 HP for him in the mid lane.
Aegis is a legion. is picked up for him as well. He wants those resistances. Like, that's a Gargoyle Stone Plate on the way.
It might well be. I would love to see it. Shanks, this is not a DPS mage in the mid lane. This is very much a tank mage, I suppose. Biubiu get a bit of damage onto Fearness as they engage onto this Gnar, but View, I think he might have bitten off more than he could chew. Flashes out to safety. Demore as well actually gets on out, and his support sacrifices himself. Now Xing jumping on forwards, the Gale Force in, but Assum so far untouched. Shanks moving forward, trying to finish them off. Assum low, taken down. WE, flip it on its head.
And WE bring it back. We said that this was going to be a very difficult fight for LGD with all the summoner spells up, everything you could want for WE available, and LGD can't quite find the engage. Fearness not having Mega Gnar form as well means that main engage tool, that AoE stun, is not available for LGD, and WE pounce perfectly.
And you see Xing channeling his inner Viper right there with the EDG skin on the Aphelios. Gale forcing forward to try and make that play happen. Let's take another look, because that was a chaotic, messy fight.
Yeah, so watch here. Fearness is going on towards Biubiu, but isn't expecting as many people to show up, but never actually really gets the big moment with the ultimate because you see View swipes them away. So now as he starts to turn into mini Gnar form, as everyone shows up, he just becomes another casualty. Big barrel combo from Biubiu to start things off as well. Opens up for Xing to go hyper aggressive here. And Assum has already got the bailout. So when he falls, right as that bailout goes down, he's not able to actually carry this fight through. Really good job from the carries in Biubiu and Xing to win that fight for WE.
And Shanks as well, like buying so much space for Xing at the end there as he just walks on forward, but then has the Zhonyas. So as soon as everyone starts to target him, he turns golden. And the rest of WE can finish things off. Baron on the cards, 10-10. Look at the gold difference, only 1,000 in favor of LGD. Sole point for WE, and it could be, as you say, Dagda, their first win of the split if they can just finish this one off.
That's so close as well. I mean, the gold is so even. These team fights are so tense, but the scaling is coming through for WE. Biubiu nearly about to complete his IE, just finishes there. You've got 3.5 items for Xing. Stopwatch to keep him safe. GA actually now complete off the back. Huge wins for WE on the item resets. They just have to make sure they're not getting caught out because the pick potential from LGD is incredibly high. And with them having the tempo advantage, they get to push in the wave, lean in towards this bot side, start to establish vision control, and WE once more will have to see if they can get these miracle fights.
Trying to escape, has the Deadman's Plate. He's so fast, especially in his frozen domain there. And I feel like Biubiu as well, a player that's been having a pretty rough split, actually got subbed out at the start of this series, came back in, and it feels like he's had a fire lit underneath him. It feels like he's coming into game number 3 with a vengeance here on a signature pick, no less. A player that's looking for a little redemption here within the LPL, wants to prove himself. TP into the mid lane from Haichao here. It's Fearness behind enemy lines currently.
Yeah, doesn't have the Mega Gnar though, so this is a very split call from LGD. WE can just run forward if they really want to. Haichao trying to flank multiple sides here. This is really difficult fight for LGD to try and pull off as Fearness goes Mega.
Yeah, Fearness is Mega right now, but that won't last very long. That's going to be on cooldown. WE could have an opportunity here, but with the boulders coming on in. Kedaya misses the anchor here. Fearness going to be slammed against the wall. Does get a Gnar onto Kedaya. Turns going to try and save himself, but he doesn't have flash. Kedaya essentially found a pick on himself.
I mean, absolute disaster for Kedaya. Now, though, you're still LGD don't feel comfortable, I believe, to go towards Baron because you still have to deal with Xing having Infernum in his back pocket, having those barrels from Biubiu. This can still be dangerous for LGD. They need to turn.
If LGD group up too closely, the Moonlight Vigil could just end the team fight instantly. Xing moving forwards. He's got the items for the Aphelios to be big, but he misses the Moonlight Vigil. Fearness on the backside as Shanks goes 1v4. They've kept them off of the Baron, that's for sure. Baron will reset here. WE need to just retreat.
Fearness still has the ultimate available as well and his flash. He could get a massive ultimate here, which is why WE very wary of trying to push through. Shanks no ult. You are heavily reliant on these barrels from Biubiu.
View over the wall, has ult, has flash, has smite available. Quay getting pretty low from the Baron as well. WE are doing a good job to just tether LGD, just keep them in the fight, keep them trying here. And now WE are the ones with control of the Baron.
And they can turn over towards this. Kedaya now back out after the reset. Ultimate's about to come up for WE and LGD are low.
This is getting exciting, Dagda. WE into the pit. Fearness in mini Gnar right now as Haichao. Spirit rushes in. Xing caught, but he walks away with his charm. Now Ingo, the rest of the team. Quay has to flash away. Massive ult comes out, but isn't enough. Assum getting the resets here. One onto Shanks, but he turns golden. Fearness over the wall, but he whiffs the jump in the end. It doesn't matter. 2 kills is enough for LGD.
20 seconds until Soul for WE, though. Looks like they're not going to try and contest the Baron. Instead, reset and run directly down towards this bottom side of the map. TP for Biubiu could get them there faster, but a huge ultimate from JinJiao completely turns this fight. We'll catch it here in the replay. So Shanks' ult is up. Depth charge is available. But here, you already got the cleanse from Xing, which is what we talked about Haichao needing to do. And then immediate ult across everybody here means that there's just so much damage that WE are doing to themselves as Haichao and Assum are free hitting.
I feel like Kedaya there, he turns around and starts hitting Biubiu. Biubiu starts hitting it back while Fearness is also throwing out boomerangs. Kedaya just went from 100 to 0 real quick. And even Baron spitting some acid on in there as well. The Drake taken, though, by LGD. They didn't go for the reset after the Baron, just sprinted straight over to take that objective, which means we're 36 minutes into this game, Dagda. Goal now in favor of LGD, but both teams on Soul Point. Baron available, though, for LGD for 2 more minutes. They don't want to entertain Soul Point. They want to finish things.
I mean, you're about to hit late game for, well, like full build fantasy here for a lot of the guys on WE, with Biubiu half an item away from finishing off his Mortal Reminder being full build. Same when you look towards Xing. These guys are huge. Gargoyle, Stoneplate, as we talked about, completed now for Shanks. He's going to be so tanky as the front line. And LGD know that they need to use this Baron buff effectively. Use this short range that we've already seen them struggle with.
Fearness knocked up here. He's about to turn Mega. Does knock a few away, but there's a pick. That's a huge opportunity for WE. Flame Chompers is a pain. Shanks going to tank that for the rest of his team, but with the pillar there, they just can't move. Shanks literally pinned against the wall there. How do you ever engage on this squad from LGD?
And that's what we were talking about, like trying to keep yourself at range here with Koi, with JinJiao, is spectacular to allow Assum to free hit. And Assum as well, really approaching that full late game fantasy here, 1 item away from completion. And you can see that it's really causing issues here for W if they can't find those engages. But good pick means they will get their waves back in order and get some control of the map. And we just catch it here. This is just a great call from WE and a massive mistake from Fearness. Just walks into range of the ultimate coming through from Kedaya. View as well, sneaking into position, using the fog that he has there. LGD just caught with their pants down.
Quite out of position, 3 minutes until Drake. And we said, look, they've got the Baron. They want to end things before this next Drake comes up, but they've only got 27 seconds left on that Baron. They are not going to have the opportunity to close things out. And that means that Elder Dragon could be on the cards later on. Certainly the Soul fight is going to be on the cards. Another Baron could even be on the cards. Dagda, between LGD and WE, we have an absolute slobber knocker here. LGD do not want to be the first team to lose to WE. Nobody wants to be that team. WE desperate to get a win on the board.
They just need one. They don't want to be the V5 of summer 2022. And all that stands in the way right now is LGD. This game has been so incredibly close. One back and forth, and one dragon in 2 minutes time could decide everything. LGD can't really push forward anymore. The wave clear from WE is too strong, but it's about containing WE in their base, not allowing them to contest this next dragon.
Yeah, so full build now for Xing. Full build for Biubiu. Assum, I assume on reset, would have enough gold for full build as well, but doesn't actually currently have it in his inventory. I feel like we need to see Shanks and Haichao try to get some more of the CS in these wave clear situations. But the thing is, it's just about clearing waves as fast as possible at this point. It's all about just survival.
Yeah, I mean, trying to deny as much damage as possible onto this bot turret isn't the priority for WE. If it gets low, LGD could threaten a dive, and you definitely do not want to be in that position as WE. Biubiu, though, as you say, like, great wave clear. Xing had the Infernum. Shanks even as well should have at least a relatively decent amount of AoE to clear that one out. But WE on the hunt now for Fearness once more.
They really don't like Fearness this game. Kedaya looking for the hook. Fearness needs to be cautious. They're getting flanked, though, by LGD. Look at Quay and Haichao moving in behind enemy lines here. Pillar comes on out. Biubiu nowhere to be seen. He's miles away from the players. Fearness turns Mega, survives. 50 seconds until the Drake spawns.
This is great for WE, though. They don't need to reset because they already are at full build. So WE are just basically abusing that fact, knowing LGD would like to back for final item for Assum. But instead, WE keeping control over the mid lane. LGD, I don't know if you can look to fight this.
This is going to be dangerous. This is going to be tight. It's going to be a Mountain Soul on the line as well. LGD in position for now, but getting chased out by WE. How does the fight have to go, Dagda?
Haichao with the charm might be the difference maker, but Shanks is safe. Keep Xing safe, get Biubiu damage.
Kedaya turns gold. Shanks moving into the middle of everyone, has a massive shield. There's a pick to start us off. Xing goes down as well into his GA here. Shanks trying to buy space for his AD carry. The charm too early, but there's an Arl. Xing surviving, but he goes down. And now Shanks the only carry remaining. Biubiu has to find some barrels. LGD though going strong. 5 members still in a 3v5. Shanks will fall. No, flashes out to safety. JinJiao flashes after him, way overestimating his damage, but LGD, they find 2 and they find themselves a soul.
The Mountain Dragon soul is going to be massive for LGD. You can see how close these fights have been, and that extra little bit of survivability is going to come in clutch for LGD. May come in clutch right now as well, as with 30 seconds left on Xing, all members of LGD standing strong. They're going to try and look to crack open another inhibitor turret.
Crucially, Biubiu is still here. He can clear waves very effectively. Maybe that's enough for WE to stay in the game right now. Xing up in 15 seconds, and LGD realize they cannot end right now. Baron on the cards now as LGD retreat. They need to get reset, so maybe WE can run straight over.
And that's what I'm wondering here as well. Gangplank going to clear a bot wave to try and deal with that one, but watch here. Haichao gets the charm onto Shanks. Kedaya again, these hooks haven't quite been working out, and nobody can really follow up on towards Assum. The Gale Force to dodge the ultimate from Assum. So clutch, actually, coming through to dodge the Moonlight Vigil. And then, unfortunately, Xing just getting threatened from too many different angles. Haichao on the top side. You got the flash forward from Fearness as well to finish him off. And that is the damage dealer down on WE. Biubiu is trying, but these barrel combos can be incredibly hard to land with so many moving parts and fights.
And Fearness with a 3-man Gnarl. Oh no,
Kedaya!
No, not like this. The rocket's flying out, coming out from Assum. The rocket goes wide though. Oh, Kedaya survives at least for now, but that'll be mid lane inhibitor gone.
Biubiu?
No questions asked as Biubiu has to just limp away from the play. And what a way to lose an inhibitor. What a way to lose control of your own base.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a little bit messy from Kedaya and the Nautilus. A couple of these hooks now have put him in very precarious situations. Now WE starting to aggress forward once more. View won't be caught by the pillar. They have Biubiu trying to clear up bot side. So Baron will be started by LGD. They want to try and get this TP out from Biubiu.
You can feel how important this is to LGD. They have been so on point the last few minutes here. Fearness takes a bit of damage from View, but trading it back happily. About to turn Mega Gnar. Baron's on 6,000. View can't make it in here because Fearness is just keeping him at bay. Beautifully done on the Gnar. Could look for an engage here. Could look for 4 as the pillar comes out. Quay's in trouble. He's stuck inside the pit. WE want to capitalize. Kedaya there as Shanks uses the Democception. There's going to be some cannons flying down from the sky as View flashes on over. They're collapsing on LGD. Can they find the resets? 2 will go down. LGD got the Baron, but at what cost? WE, they might just find themselves the fight that they've been desperate for all game.
They got onto Assum. The AD carry for LGD is down. The base is under threat though, but LGD have no way to TP in onto it. View has already reset, and with 40-second death timers, the wave is coming in topside. WE might just look to end. Haichao needs to keep these creeps away from the Nexus.
Haichao and Fearness need to try and clear this wave, but it's impossible. Kedaya just walks on forward, threatens the hook here. The Baron minions do make it painful. 25 seconds on the death timers. This might be difficult for WE to actually end things. Haichao down to half. And WE realize they can't end just yet. We have another fight yet, Dagda.
We have another Elder. That's what we're looking at here. This is going to be the one that decides it. But a great flight here from WE. They know Koi has no flash, so they want to try and go as aggressive as possible. Biubiu stepping up here as well. Look at the cannon barrage, trying to separate Haichao away from the team. And View flashing over the wall, picks off JinJiao and Assum. And with Fearness losing his Mega Gnar, he's not really a big part of this fight as well. And you see here, Biubiu's damage, even onto the tanky member in Koi, so big right now.
Yeah, Biubiu's just flashing forwards at the end there to make sure that they finish off that final pick. Oh, Dagda, it's so tense. 15 to 14. Gold might as well be even because everyone's pretty much full build at this point. And now we have the Soul on the side of LGD. They're tanky, but apparently not tanky enough, as Assum and JinJiao got caught in that previous play. And we'll see if WE have what it takes to win 2 fights back to back to turn this advantage into a win.
Top laners, full build. AD carries, full build. Mid laners, 1/2 item away from being at that stage as well. We're at the getting into the mega late game at this stage. You can see Shanks not actually too far off from completing his own his full item as well.
20k gold.
Yeah.
Like, that is absurd. How often do you see that kind of gold in a game of League of Legends? Especially in the LPL. How often do we see 45-minute games, Dan?
I know, it's been insane, but it's been incredibly close the whole way along. 1 minute now until the Dragon. You have flashes up across the board on LGD's side. Biubiu will not have his available, but the GA swap actually coming in here. Going to be pretty clutch here to see if they can keep him alive. He sold his boots for that, so it means that these barrels need to connect for Biubiu to be able to be a factor in these fights.
He's become a juggernaut. He don't move fast, but he hits damn hard. That is for sure. If he can find the barrels. Crucially, View no flash. That could be massive if we end up in a 50-50. I'm praying for both teams that they don't allow a 50-50 situation to occur. But I wouldn't put it past the 2 teams that we've got playing here today. Biubiu heads over to clear the supers. Quay trying to find a pick here. Shanks could be the target. Flashes over the pillar. There's another flash on cooldown.
And this is the problem. LGD have a super minions that had to be dealt with in the bot
View.
side. So Biubiu had to go across. Now View caught because they try to deal with mid lane.
Okay, he's alive, but now has to use the ulti. Charm actually goes on through, but no one else can follow up. Spirit Rush used there by Haichao. But now inside track towards the Elder Dragon that's spawning in 3 seconds time. View and Shanks are both half HP or lower.
You can try and heal up though, but it's going to be tough. LGD are moving past all the vision WE've already established, so WE had a lot of info here, but they need to get in. View has no flash, he has no ult.
He needs a miracle right now. What's going to happen here? Elder down and it's taken. LGD find everything that they need, and WE inches away from their first win, but denied once more. It's not happening. LGD will not be the first to go down as they just wipe everybody off of the face of the map. Biubiu knocked into his GA, but ultimately LGD have done everything they needed to do, and they will take their second win.
The clean ace, the clean loss streak continues for WE. 0-11, LGD will find their second win in the LPL.
It's an absolute heartbreaker for WE, but big breaths of relief for LGD. As you can see, the relief on their faces as well. That was a stressful game. And a game that, let's be honest, in terms of the standings, didn't have much implication, but in terms of reputation, it had everything at stake.
Reputation, pride, confidence as well going into your next few series. It's massively important. And unfortunately for WE, playing in their home stadium, again, not being able to pick up the win. And we talked about how this was a crucial one for them. I mean, the rest of their split is not any easier. Ultra Prime is probably their next easiest target. And honestly, with the way that with the way that WE have played over the course of the last few series, it seems unlikely that they're able to pick up the win over Ultra Prime. So it's not looking good for WE in trying to get away from that V5 scoreline that seems to be hovering around them.
Yeah, feels like a tough one right now for WE as they're just scrambling to try and find another win. They're trying to find I say another. I don't know why I said another. They're trying to find a win. They're trying to not be the V5 of this year, but I'm going to be honest, It's not looking good for them. LGD, though, grabbing themselves a second win. Technically, still in the running for playoffs. We talked about the calm before the storm before this series, right? WE was their easiest opponent remaining. They still have to face WBG. They have to face TT, Top Esports, RAIG, and RNG. And they need to beat every single one of those teams if they want to make it to playoffs. So LGD still a bit of a mountain to climb, but at least they have a positive moving forwards here.
Yeah, both these teams are kind of clinging to technicalities here, right? Technically, WE won't match the record for V5 because they've got a couple of game wins under their belt.
Yeah.
Technically, LGD aren't out of playoffs, but it is a mountain to climb. I mean, I just don't see LGD being able to pick up a bunch of those wins, especially with the fact that you still have teams like FPX to play against WE, TT as well, still have some nice series left in their back pockets as well. It does become very, very difficult for LGD, but in the Battle of the Wooden Spoon, it will be LGD who's able to come out on top.
Certainly was. Fantastic stuff coming out. Fearness actually doing crazy damage across the course of this game. I guess he is on Gnar. There's a lot of poke available. But yeah, absolutely right. I feel like both top laners honestly had pretty decent series for themselves. Biubiu trying his damnedest in a couple of those games, but Fearness doing a really good job at getting those massive Gnar rolls in the team fights.
Yeah, again, though, it just feels unfortunate for WE that they couldn't quite get themselves in order. Kedaya as well, having a woeful game on the Nautilus, getting himself caught out several times. The hooks not exactly going where they're supposed to go to, and caused major issues for WE, who honestly were in a decent position to try and fight this back, but those one or two mistakes end up costing them in the end. LGD, though, looking at Koi, 90% kill participation. The Trundle definitely a major factor in helping to buy space for Assum, keep these fights in check, and LGD as a whole will be happy that they're able to take this one home.
Yeah, I mean, LGD going to be over the moon taking that one in the end. And it felt like a tough series for both teams. I feel like the mental stress that must have come from this series, especially that game number 3. Like, you don't get that kind of stress in most jobs, but when everything's on the line like that, WE having it snatched away in the end. It did feel like LGD were in control for most of